This is Dave King, a known drug dealer and violent enforcer. Dave Rolex King was part of a drug trafficking organization that was bringing in hundreds of thousands of pounds of heroin into the UK. But King's fate was sealed when his criminal associates suspected him of being a police informer and hatched a plan to eliminate him. In the 90s, a tight-knit crew ran the drug game in Essex and East London, pumping clubs and streets full of ecstasy and cocaine. This trio, Tony Tucker, Pat Tate, and Craig Rolfe, were known as the Essex Boys. It was during this era that Glaswegian gangster Dave King met Tony Tucker, who ran a North London shop selling bodybuilding supplements. Their shared passion for bodybuilding quickly turned into a friendship. Standing at 6'3" with a muscular build, Dave King was a formidable figure, well suited for handling trouble. He and Tony Tucker worked as bodyguards for ex-WBC super middleweight champion Nigel Benn, nicknamed the Dark Destroyer, a former British professional boxer who competed from 1987 to 1996. Known for his aggressive fighting style and knockout power, Ben held multiple world championships during his career, including the WBO middleweight title and the WBC super middleweight title. He was a key figure in British boxing during the 1990s and is remembered for his fierce rivalry with fellow boxer Chris Eubank, relishing the celebrity lifestyle and connections the job brought. Tucker ran a profitable security business, supplying bouncers to clubs in Essex and East London, earning over £1,500 a week. King, known for his fighting skills, built a fearsome reputation working the doors, where drug sales to clubbers were carefully managed. While King was serving prison time for assaulting a man and hiding him in a car boot, Tony Tucker and his associates, Pat Tate and Craig Rolfe, were murdered. The three were found shot dead in a Range Rover on a remote farm track in Rettendon, Essex. Rolfe was shot in the head, Tucker's face was destroyed by gunfire, and Tate was hit once in the stomach and twice in the head. This brutal crime became infamous as the Rettendon Murders. Rolex Dave and the Canning Town firm. After his release from prison, Dave King joined the Canning Town firm, a criminal group linked to violent football hooligan gangs. He became close to Darren Pearman, a volatile and dangerous member of the gang. Despite Pearman's unassuming appearance, often wearing cardigans and sporting a side parting, he was known for his extreme violence. Crime author and former Essex boy Bernard O'Mahony described Pearman as part of the Canning Town firm, connected to the West Ham fans' intercity firm. According to O'Mahony, the group's brutality was legendary, with trivial conflicts often escalating into murder. One such incident involved King and Pearman at Charlie Chan's nightclub in North London. A fight broke out after a man was glassed, leading to a brawl involving the doorman, including head bouncer Ronnie Fuller, an ex-wrestler. Fuller forcibly ejected King and Pearman, igniting a feud. Underworld sources suggest Pearman's death at 27 stemmed from an altercation with Fuller, sparked by King. 4 years to the day before his own death, King and Pearman encountered Fuller at Epping Forest Country Club, and tensions flared again weeks later outside the venue. The feud between Darren Pearman and Ronnie Fuller reportedly started over a girl, with a previous fight leaving Pearman humiliated. Tensions erupted again at Epping Forest Country Club, where Pearman's gang attacked Fuller with weapons, including a machete hidden in the club. During the fight, Fuller wrestled the machete from Pearman, fatally injuring him. Pearman was pronounced dead after arriving at Whipps Cross Hospital in the back of a cab, while his brother also sustained injuries. Months later, Fuller and an associate were released on bail over Pearman's murder. On August 29, 2000, Fuller was assassinated on his doorstep in Grays, Essex, by a motorbike hitman who shot him twice in the head and 3 times in the chest. Police suspected the killing was arranged by Pearman's father, Christopher Pearman. As retribution, though no one was ever charged. The Canning Town firm, refusing to involve the police, vowed to handle the matter themselves. At the time of Pearman's death, The Epping Forest Country Club was owned by David Hunt, a notorious gangster believed to lead the Hunt Syndicate, one of the UK's most violent criminal organisations. King's time with the Canning Town firm was fraught with conflict. Former associate John Rowlingson claimed King created divisions with the gang and turned members against each other, describing him as a violent bully. While some saw King as charismatic, others noted his dangerous and volatile nature, warning that crossing him could be perilous. The rise of Rolex Dave. Dave King, nicknamed Rolex Dave for his involvement in London's lucrative stolen watch trade, was rumoured to sell these stolen goods to the Bratva, the Russian mafia. As his criminal connections expanded, King opened a nightclub in Stevenage called the Renaissance. Known as a hotspot for drug dealing, it was eventually shut down by the council in 2002 due to unpaid rent. A local bar manager described it as a drugs haven. By the early 2000s, King's criminal activities included handling stolen goods, drug dealing, and trafficking large quantities of drugs into the UK, earning him a fortune, but also creating enemies in the underworld. Living in a £554,000 home in Ardleigh, Herts, King was well aware of the risks he faced and took precautions to protect himself. One major incident heightened those risks. In June 2002, Customs intercepted a £100,000 heroin shipment linked to King and his associates, leading to their arrests. While his co-defendants faced charges, proceedings against King were dropped early, sparking suspicion. In court, one co-defendant accused him of being a grass, leading to tensions within the gang. Detective Inspector Paul Maggie suggested this fallout was key to King's eventual murder. His gangland associates believed their firm had been infiltrated, said D.I. Maggie. King feared for his life, allegedly put a contract out on David Sharma, a former friend who fled to France under a false identity. However, two associates from the drug case, Roger Vincent and David Smith, retaliated, offering to have King killed. Police believe this betrayal was the motive for his murder. Roger Vincent and David Smith hired armed robber Dean Spencer from Manchester to kill Dave King. On September 22, 2003, Smith, armed with a Webley .38 pistol, and another man arrived at King's Stevenage home. Known as Muscles for his bodybuilding physique and ruthless reputation, King was ready for trouble. He had been warned of threats against him, and his bodyguard Ian Crocker by his side, and was wearing a bulletproof vest. Outside King's home, the four men faced off in a tense standoff. Intimidated by King's size and precautions, Spencer lost his nerve and fled. When Spencer backed out, Vincent became furious, knowing he might have to handle the hit himself. Spencer was later arrested for armed robbery and, under questioning, revealed a murder plot. At his trial, he admitted, "When I saw how big he was and wearing that bulletproof vest, I knew my little gun would be useless." The assassination of Rolex Dave. When Dean Spencer backed out of the hit, 33-year-old gangland enforcer Roger Vincent decided to handle it himself. He brought in David Smith, also 33, to act as his driver and accomplice in the murder. Knowing King was aware of the plot and routinely wore a bulletproof vest, the pair acquired a Hungarian-made Kalashnikov AKS-47, a compact version of the AK-47 used by elite military forces, loaded with armor-piercing full-metal jacket bullets. The two meticulously planned the hit, coordinating their moves over mobile phones. Police later used phone records to trace their communications, helping to unravel the events and motives behind the murder plot. Police pieced together the murder of Dave King using forensic evidence, CCTV footage, witness descriptions, surveillance, and recorded conversations. At Vincent and Smith's trial, this evidence painted a clear picture of their crime. The pair used a stolen white transit van and a stolen Mercedes as getaway vehicles. They stalked King until October 3, 2003, when he left the Physical Limits gym in Hoddesdon, Hertfordshire, with his bodyguard Ian Crocker. As King stepped outside, Smith pulled up in the van. In that moment, King likely realized the danger. Vincent, sitting in the passenger seat, fired at least 26 rounds of armor-piercing bullets from an AK-47 Kalashnikov, killing King in a brutal ambush. In what the court describes as a classic drive-by assassination, Dave King was hit at close range by 5 bullets from a 3-second burst of automatic fire. The rounds struck his chest, arm and leg, killing him instantly. Stray bullets hit his car, his bodyguard Ian Crocker, and even penetrated the gym's walls, with some entering the building itself. Detective Inspector Maggie noted, "It was the first time that weapon was used in Britain in automatic mode. After the attack, the killers fled and set fire to the stolen vehicles to destroy evidence." The investigation. The killers' attempts to destroy evidence fell short, leaving behind critical clues. Near the burnt-out van, police discovered a discarded plastic glove containing David Smith's palm print. The day after the murder, a couple walking near Breydon Water in Great Yarmouth witnessed a man throwing a red sports bag into the water before fleeing. Retrieving the bag, they found it contained an AK-47 assault rifle and spare ammunition. Forensic analysts confirmed the gun, previously owned by the Hungarian prison authorities, was the murder weapon. Further incriminating evidence came from the gun's ammunition clip, which held traces of Smith's DNA. A towel in the same bag contained Vincent's saliva DNA, definitively linking both men to the assassination of Dave King. Investigators uncovered even more evidence linking Vincent and Smith to the crime. A towel found during the investigation contained fibers matching a unique jute rug from a flat used by Vincent. CCTV footage also captured Smith wearing a distinctive hat at a Hoddesdon filling station shortly before the murder. Mobile phone records reveal that minutes after the shooting, Vincent and Smith called David Sharma in Cannes to inform him they had killed King. Sharma, implicated to the plot, vanished and became the subject of an active Interpol manhunt. A fourth accomplice, 38-year-old Julian Elphys from High Wycombe, was convicted of assisting an offender after it was proven that he helped Vincent go into hiding. During questioning, Vincent, arrested shortly after the killing, bragged to police about earning £250,000 a year in cash from his network of clubs across eastern England. Roger Vincent, who flaunted his wealth with a £100,000 Aston Martin TB, was charged with Dave King's murder. Authorities froze £1.6 million of his assets, suspecting they were tied to drug trafficking and money laundering. These included his Hertfordshire home, a £1 million London property, and £7,500 across 4 bank accounts. A detective described Vincent as highly feared in the underworld. He's not physically big, but has a fearsome reputation for violence and as a hired gun. Vincent, a father of 4, received a 30-year minimum sentence for his role in the murder. His accomplice and getaway driver, David Smith, was sentenced to at least 25 years, while Julian Elphys, who helped Vincent hide, received 5 years. Dean Spencer admitted to conspiring to kill King and was sentenced later. After the convictions, Mr. Justice Wilkie called the murder a thoroughly planned, ruthless and brutally executed assassination. He emphasized the public danger, noting it occurred on a busy street in daylight with an automatic weapon, and it was pure luck no bystanders were harmed. The plot to kill Dave King was motivated by loyalty to David Sharma, who feared King would kill him. Vincent and Smith, friends of Sharma, carried out the murder as a favor, with no payment involved. While King was notorious for his violent criminal lifestyle, his parents, Jimmy and Norma King, remembered him differently. In a statement, they described their Glasgow-born son as a football-loving family man. They said he was ambitious for himself and his family and wanted the best for his children. A devout Muslim, David's bodybuilding was central to his life. He was proud of his appearance and a perfectionist in all he did. King's death shocked the Hoddesdon community, though it was less surprising in the criminal underworld, where rivalries often turned deadly. A police source remarked, "Whatever someone's past, no one deserves to be killed like this." But it was the way of the world he lived in.